Hello, 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 welcome to WRD Gaming, and welcome to another episode of Broken Sword Shadows of the Templars Reforged. This is episode 3, so shall we continue? I believe last time we played this, we were in Ireland. Hello. Well, this is Northern Ireland technically, and, well, not technically, it is, it's a fact, so there you go. Anyway, enough of that shit. Point is, we are here in Ireland, and our man, is it Fitzgerald, he just got ran over by a pixie in a sports car, and that's basically where we left off. So let us now investigate everything.
The plastic cover had been smashed by the pixie's car, revealing a switch.
Now, can I hit the switch?
I pushed the switch down, but in doing so it snapped off in my hand.
That's never good when that happens. Let's take a look at the trap door.
It was a trap door in the sidewalk.
Can I do anything with the trap door? No.
I tugged at the trap door, but it was locked from the inside.
What about the drain? Let's take a look in the
The drain was
drain.
covered with an iron grating, through which I could hear the rush and surge of running water.
Can we do anything with the drain? Not a thing.
I took hold of the grating and pulled hard, but it didn't move.
Right, let's talk to this little whippersnapper one more time. See if he'll give us any information.
Hey, McGuire!
What do you want to know?
I'll tell you what I want to know. Actually, I want to know nothing. Maybe
Have
just...
you ever seen this man before?
What a slimy character. No, I never seed him.
I think we've asked him that already. Alright,
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
let's take a look. What have we got? We can maybe use this to open that. Probably not, though.
The workman's key was the obvious tool to use to open this trap door. It was specifically designed for a job like this. Unfortunately, there weren't any holes in the trap door.
What about on this? Oh, I can't click on it anymore. It's done. I can't click on this.
It was impossible to return the switch to its original position.
Can't click on that now. Alright, so I have to go back inside. That's what the game's telling me. Now what is it? Let's drink another drink of me beer.
Somehow, I'd managed to drink the thick, sweet brew. I felt strangely compelled to order another, even though my every instinct warned me against it.
Right, can I take the beer tile? Yeah, I
As
took
the
it.
man raised his arm to drink, I snatched the towel away.
Right.
It was an electric glass washer. It looked even older than the barman.
Let's talk to him.
Excuse me. Yes, sir?
Can we talk about
I
anything?
don't want anything. Just give me a shout when you do.
Okay.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Can't get in there.
Excuse me?
No customers
He
behind
won't
the
let me
bar.
in.
Ever.
What if I unplug it?
Get out.
Ah.
It was an electrical plug attached to the glass washer.
Pretty sure I was meant to try and grab that.
The end of the bar was hinged, like the drawbridge on a medieval castle.
Oh.
Get out.
Alright, mate. Oh, the beer pump doesn't work no more, so if I ask him for another beer, he'll realize the beer pump doesn't work. Of course.
I was about to reach for the pump when I came to my senses. A rash move like that in a strange country with strange customs could be my last.
It could be.
Excuse me? Yes, sir?
Let us Oh, you're in the library here.
May I have another beer, please?
Certainly, sir. Same again?
Yeah, please. How is this stuff made?
That's the secret of the master brewer, sir.
That's the secret.
Each barrel is lovingly manhandled in time-honored fashion, suspended on skillfully tied ropes of the finest hemp, lowered into the cellar, utilizing the forces of original gravity, like manna from heaven. I'm sorry, but the pump appears to be broken.
I
What?
could fix it for you.
I don't think so. This is a job for a professional electrician. Oh well, at least the glass washer is still working.
Haha.
It's not my idea, is it?
Well, it just happens to be that I am a professional electrician.
It just so happens I'm an electrician. Check out my credentials.
Well, no. Isn't that marvelous? Ha, here's the house bedeviled with faulty wiring of a wayward nature. Here's you, an electric man, with a little plastic card to prove it. I still want to see what you can do before I let you touch me beer pumps. You can make a start on the glass washer.
At least I can go in now and take a look.
When you finish that, will you take a look at the pumps?
Right, let's go take a look at the plug. Oh wait, here, I need his wire. No, come back here, George. He's gonna pull the wire out at some point. Here it is. George, where the fuck are you going? Stand there. Jesus Christ, I don't know why I moved over the other side of the bar.
Oh, no, you don't.
I took it when he
Okay,
was
I'm
sneezing. I'll try one more time. I think I'm when he's sneezing, you see. Come on, sneeze. Hurry up and get that wire back out again. Here he comes. Here comes the wire. Why does he keep it in his pocket? Ah,
As soon as the old guy looked away, I grabbed his piece of wire.
there we go. Alright, now let's take a look.
I used all my knowledge of electrical engineering to examine the plug. Seemed fine to me.
What about the glass washer
There
itself?
was nothing physically wrong with the glass washer.
I think we'll use the wire on the plug.
I replaced the fuse with a piece of wire. I knew it was dangerous, but I was desperate enough to disregard everything I knew
got more
about
wire.
standard safety precautions. Excuse me, Mr. Leary. I fixed your glass washer, no problem.
Bingo! And a blessing to all the saints. A free half pint to that man on the house. Now, could you take a look at the beer pumps?
Well, I guess so, but I'm not making any promises.
If you can't fix them, I'll have a riot on me hands.
The pumps are in the cellar, right?
That's right. You'll find a flashlight down there somewhere.
Alright, let us go.
What a dumb place to store a flashlight. A dark cellar.
Pitch black.
The only way I was going to find anything down there was to feel around.
Alright, let's use the lever because I believe that opens up the grating, gives us some light.
I pushed the lever and heard the grating of metal, but nothing appeared to happen.
I wonder, can you go upstairs now? I think you can go back up. Can't skip this. I don't know if you can actually. No, I'm trying to see if I can skip. No, yes, just has to walk. Can't skip the exits. I believe you can lift this grating up by hand now, though. I think. Yeah, there we go.
I lifted the trap door, and an overpowering smell of stale beer rose from the cellar below. I looked down on a stone-tiled floor, way too far to jump.
Oh shit. Miss Khan.
Excuse me.
There was a nasty feeling in my guts I usually associated with light opera. It was Khan. What's the problem?
Did you see what happened here a few minutes ago?
What was that?
A man was involved in an unfortunate accident.
I didn't see anything.
What about the boy?
He doesn't know anything either. The kid, well, you know how it is in these rural communities. Not enough genes to go round. I prayed McGuire had the sense to keep his mouth shut. Was the guy hurt bad?
He's been taken care of, but he thinks he dropped a small parcel. You didn't happen to find it, did you?
If I had, I would have taken it to the police.
Of course. Thank you.
It's a dodgy character for sure.
It wasn't my nerves that stopped me jumping. It was my damned legs. They wouldn't move.
Alright, gotta go the long way in. Yep. See, I double clicked there and it kind of skipped it. Oh, look. Here's that gem. There's the flashlight we need.
Then I noticed a flash of light. Something sparkling beneath the open trap door. It was Peagram's gem, all right. A large, uncut blue stone. As I held it aloft, I realized the fascination it could command. I guess I was already under its spell.
Did you find it?
Oh, there he is.
What?
Whatever you was looking for.
Yeah. Listen, McGuire. I want you to keep this to yourself.
No problemo. Just chuck us up a crate of lager.
No way. You're not old enough.
We can sell it and make some cash.
Forget it, kid. I couldn't betray Mr. Leary's trust.
I could, for sure. That old misery guts deserves it.
If you want to do me a favor, keep a lookout for that guy in the suit.
Okay. But it'll cost you a packet of chips.
Oh, and shout if you see that Ferrari.
Alright. Let's take a look at the cleaning
There's a bunch
materials.
of cleaning materials. I looked among the cleaning materials, but saw nothing I could use.
How about here? Use the carton.
The carton was damp and soggy. Useless.
The calendar? I don't know what to do with either, George.
It was a calendar with a faded photograph of a prize-winning carp. It was an empty carton which had once contained caustic soda.
Caustic soda. Alright, is there anything else?
It was a rusty faucet. The faucet creaked, coughed, and spewed out a stream of rusty-colored water. It was the lever which locked the trap door.
Should we take a look through the stacks? I'll go back upstairs,
I
obviously.
searched the trash, but there was nothing useful there.
To be honest, I'm not sure if there's any point in wetting this bar towel now. You have to, but it's going to dry up by the time I get there.
I held the towel under the faucet and soaked it with water.
I think, yeah, it wants us to leave. I think we're going to go up to the dig site. So let us go up here. Going to head towards the infamous goat puzzle. There's a farmer.
The farmer's craggy face was set in a mask of aesthetic appreciation. His feet were set in a pair of manure-caked boots.
Let's talk to this guy.
Hi, do you speak English?
Well, now, what if I was to say no? An implication of cognizance shrouded in denial. A pretty poser of a paradox indeed.
I gave him the look I'd perfected when I was 12 and was going to be the greatest hypnotist of all time. It was a killer.
Are you attempting to hypnotize me, or is it the constipation you're suffering?
I was a little out of practice.
Let's talk to him about everything.
Have you seen Professor Pegram?
No, he's packed up and gone.
Do you happen to know where?
Back in England, I suppose.
Do you think Pegram's disappearance is due to the curse?
Look at the facts. He dug up the gem. He disappeared. Bingo.
Bingo.
It doesn't take a degree in mathematics to work that one out, does it? You don't have to be a smarty Pythagoras with a calculator.
Alright,
I
Jesus.
guess not.
Pegram has run off with the gem.
Did you happen to see a red sports car down on the road?
I caught a glimpse of a flash of red on the hill and heard the racket. Sure, it was an awful noise. A sports car, you say?
A Ferrari, to be exact.
A racing car? And what was it doing here? The poor fella must have been lost.
The driver of the Ferrari was involved in an accident.
Is that so?
Yeah, he knocked somebody down outside the bar.
What an idiot! How could a thing like that happen?
He was traveling too fast.
So fast, he ran right under the car.
I mean, the car was traveling too fast.
But you'd have thought the idiot could have heard it coming.
Good point.
Maybe you know the guy who was hit by the Ferrari. His name is Sean Fitzgerald.
Oh, I know him all right. That's me nephew, the idiot responsible for the stacking of my hay cart. Was he killed by the car?
Oh no, but he has been abducted.
Well, that's a relief now.
It does look a bit badly stacked.
Aren't you going to look for your nephew?
What for? From what you say, it's too late.
Well, you could report the matter to the police.
Better not. Besides, what could they do?
Well, they could mount a search.
They have only the one bicycle between them. In a question of superior acceleration, I put me money on the Ferrari.
So would I.
I think you ought to know exactly what Sean has gotten himself into.
I'm not sure I want to know.
But you're his uncle, his own flesh and blood.
You're right, but what can I do? If I'm not here to guard it, some idiot might try to climb the haystack. What a moral dilemma. Stay here and guard this potentially lethal agricultural construction, or to go off in search of the prodigal nephew, the very man responsible for said hazard? It'll need some thinking about.
Why, there's no problem.
You're right. Why didn't I think of it before? We'll demolish the haystack.
No, you fool.
You don't have to demolish the haystack to go look for Sean. I'll stay here in your place and warn anyone who's silly enough to climb it.
There we go.
Marvelous. I think I should start me inquiries in the bar.
I'm just gonna go. I didn't really get to ask him the other questions though.
He strode off in the direction of McDevitt's bar, leaving me to contemplate the stack of hay.
So there's hay bales as far as the eye can see.
On the back of the cart was a crazily stacked tower of hay bales, leaning precariously against the castle wall.
Ah, but you see, we can use this for the final time. Oh. Never mind. Use it here in the wall. My mistake.
The stack of hay stopped, short of the top of the wall. Even if I stretched as far as I could, the wall was out of reach. What I needed was a slice or two of Alice's Wonderland.
All I need is to stick the sewer key in the wall as a foothold.
I inserted the end of the lifting key in the mortarless crack and gave it a firm shove. It remained lodged in the wall, jutting out to form a step.
Now, can I get over the gap? I think so. Oh, look at that thing. Yeah.
It was a rusted piece of iron, maybe part of a plow or something.
I believe you get knocked on your ass here. Yeah. But there's a way of doing it. I think you have to double click it, don't you? You do have to do something. He's not getting up fast enough. I don't know why he's not getting up fast enough. Oh my god, now I know why people are so frustrated.
It was the fiercest, meanest looking old goat I'd ever laid eyes upon. Hey, Billy. The animal fixed on me with an evil glare. Behind the malice and resentment, there was a cool intelligence. How you doing, boy? I felt as threatened as I'd been by the assassin and his goons in Paris.
I know I can't just go. Oh, here he's going, he's going. I'm caught now, boys.
The rope by which the goat was tethered had become tangled on the old plowshare.
So let's get down here. Sorry, buddy. I kind of feel bad for the goat, but not that bad, to be fair. Right, let's look at the statue.
The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand.
See, it's got
The statue lay face up in the soft sand.
little markings on it that match these markings here in the wall. It's too heavy to get up on the wall.
As I swung the stone upright, I noticed it had left a pattern of holes in the sand. The 5 fingers on the back of the statue had left their impressions in the fine sand. It was a statue which had fallen from its place on the wall. 5 fingers of stone projected from the back of the carving.
Let's take a look at the
There was a pattern of
holes.
5 holes arranged on the wall. They'd been drilled there deliberately.
Let's take a look at the sack.
As I dipped my fingers into the soft white powder, I realized what it was. Plaster of Paris. I'd used it in kindergarten to make casts of animal paw prints.
Right.
The bench had probably been used by Pegram and his archaeological team. The only object on the table which interested me was a small sack.
Right, well. Let's get our little bit of plaster of Paris. I bet this tile is absolutely dry. Just need to put water on it, obviously, to make it set.
I sprinkled the plaster on the sand until the holes were filled. The patch of sand.
Let's get... It's going to be dry, isn't it? Yeah, it's dry.
I squeezed the towel as hard as I could, but it was barely damp.
Which means I gotta go all the way to the bar. Let's get up here. It's just annoying. Backtracking. So he's able to double click it there. There he is. So double clicking it there and it's working. Now let's do this one more time.
I held the towel under the faucet and soaked it with water.
And then make our way back. Didn't work that time, even though I double clicked. Get back down here. Okay, let's get this tile out. Hopefully this works this time. Yeah, I think it's all good.
The trickle of water was quickly absorbed by the plaster.
Let's take the plaster.
I eased the solid piece of plaster from the sand. Underneath, it had formed a perfect copy of the statue. I placed the fragile plaster cast back on the ground.
That was going to be
I
that
tried
door.
in vain to move the panel. Behind the altar was a carved panel decorated with animals, birds, and plants.
Right, let's pick this up again.
I eased the solid piece of plaster from the sand. Underneath, it had formed a perfect copy of the statue.
Let's attach it to this bit in the wall. It's got the markings, as you can see.
The hardened plaster cast fitted snugly into the 5 matching sockets. There was a soft thud, then
Silence.
silence.
Oh, let's go down here. Montfaucon. Back in Nico's apartment, just like that.
So, where did you stay last night?
At McDevitt's, I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Did he snore?
Hardly. He was dead.
Yeah.
Then Leary woke me in the middle of the night to help bail out the cellar.
The cellar was flooded?
Yeah, some idiot had left the faucet running,
Whoops.
And you say Pigram has disappeared?
without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Pigram's gem?
The Templar's gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man.
Right. Should we take another
Let's
look?
take another look at the manuscript. That's the tripod in the crew museum. That's the gem that Pegram found in Lochmarn. There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces. The Knight scroll bears a phrase in Latin, Through my teachings, you will be enlightened. There's a guy working on a loom. There's a guy with a sword and a bull. Between them is a gem supported by a tripod.
Can we talk about the gem,
Do
maybe?
you want to look after the gem?
No, Josh. I'd be too tempted to sell it.
Hmm.
Look, Nico, a handful of plaster.
Yeah. Why is it that men never really grow up?
What's your problem, sister?
Your pockets stuffed with useless junk like little boys.
You never know when useless junk might come in handy. Look, Nico, a handful of plaster.
Yeah.
Can you show me?
Are you sure?
Positive.
Are you sure you've never heard of Thomas Merlin?
I missed that bit.
Positive.
Right.
This is the tool I used to
Well, we
get into
kept
the
the tool.
sewers.
I take it back, we
Yeah,
kept it.
You showed me before.
I don't know what I'm going to do next.
Can't sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lobino at the Kron Museum.
There's the clue.
And why don't you see if Rosso has heard anything?
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out? Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Just take care of yourself.
So we head to the Cream Museum. So Ireland should be stroked off now. Yeah, we're done with it. Back to Paris. Let's go to the museum. Let's go inside. There's Lobino.
He was a thin-faced, pallid guy with a questionable taste in outlandish clothes. My mother used to dress like that.
This actually doesn't want me to do this.
I beg your pardon. Are you André Lobino?
That's me. You want my autograph?
No, I was told you may be able to help me.
Help?
My name is George Stobbart. I'd like your professional opinion.
Well, okay. Shoot.
Does the name Montfaucon mean anything to you?
Sure. It was the most grisly spectacle in Paris until the Revolution.
A public toilet?
Montfaucon was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death, with row upon row of arches, each one framing a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses swung on creaking rope, while the crows devoured their flesh.
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Lochmarn! That's where Pegram was digging.
That's right. He'd left the excavation before I arrived. Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have time.
When was this?
Oh, back in the summer, July, I think.
The second week of July?
Maybe. Yes, it was, just before Bastille Day.
So Pegram was in Paris at the same time as the other victims.
Coincidence?
Pardon? Victims of what?
Nothing. Just thinking aloud. Where was the site of Montfaucon?
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin, but there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
I'd like your opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment? Do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have a copy of the text?
There isn't much, only a few Latin phrases. I was kind of hoping you'd help decipher the pictures.
Without seeing the manuscript, that's a tall order.
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of two men riding on the same horse suggest to you?
The Knights Templar. Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
It is a Knights Templar, yes.
Can you tell me anything about the Knights Templar?
I sure can, Georgie. Soldiers, diplomats, mercenaries, monks, bankers, you name it, the Templars fit the bill. The greatest fighting force in Christendom, the militia of Christ.
Jeez. How did the Templars get their name?
From the building in which they set up their headquarters. The King of Jerusalem gave them part of a mosque on the Temple Mount. It was said to have been the site of the original Temple of Solomon. The order became known first as the Knights of the Temple, and later as the Knights Templar.
You're a mine of information, Andre.
Glad to be of help, Georgie.
How come the Templars became so wealthy?
There was a constant stream of new recruits to their ranks, many from noble families. They were required to swear a sacred oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, their money, goods, and lands were donated to the order. The Templars soon held land in France, Scotland, England, Spain, most of Europe, in fact. The poor Knights of Christ became the wealthiest power in Christendom.
Is it true the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found?
Who knows? So little knowledge of what really happened remains. Or, if it does, the truth has never been made public.
It's all
What do you
secret.
mean by that?
The Templars have attained mythological status, like the King Arthur of the Britons. There are people even now who say the Templars still exist.
Do you think that's likely?
No, not for a minute.
Now for a minute.
The manuscript is being looked after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah, not far from here, in fact.
Well, just give me the address and I'll come round and take a look.
I'm not so sure about that. Maybe I should check with her first.
A female friend?
Oh
yeah,
no.
she's a woman. Maybe it was my imagination, but I noticed a predatory look in his eye. Suddenly, this friendly historian had turned into the big bad wolf. This friend who has the manuscript,
Oui, the anonymous girlfriend.
she lives at 361 Rue Jarry.
Ah, I know it well. I'll drop by. Just as soon as I can.
That's not creepy.
What do you make of this?
It's the biggest gemstone I've ever seen. Where did you get it?
From Professor Pegram's messenger boy.
Did Pegram find this on his dig?
Yeah, the site where this was found was a Templar castle. Do you think it could be part of the Templar treasure?
No, I shouldn't think so.
Why not?
Did I show you this gem?
Yes, you did.
Do you recognize this white powder, Andre?
No,
Fair enough.
What do you make of this ID card?
nothing.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
Alamut is the name of the place where the Hashashin were based.
Where is it?
Somewhere in what used to be called Persia. I'm not too hot on modern geography, I'm afraid. The most recent map I have shows America as an English colony.
Are you sure you don't know where Alamut is?
Positive.
I'd like to shake you by the hand, Andre.
Not now, Georgie.
Does the guy in this photograph look familiar to you?
No,
What does this tissue mean to you?
nothing.
Oh, it's very thorough.
Take a look at this nose, Labino.
It really doesn't interest me, Georgie.
What do you make of this tool?
Interesting. Where did you get it?
From a dig in Paris.
Vraiment? I didn't realize there were any excavations in progress in the city.
Did I show you this tool?
Yes, you did, though I can't imagine why.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Let's take a look at this again.
The case contained the tripod shown on the manuscript.
Now, what did I tell you about touching the exhibits?
Alright, buddy.
Was it you can touch all you want so long as your hands are clean?
Not quite, monsieur. It was do not touch, not ever.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Alright, let's get out of here. It wants me to go this way. You see the wee sparkles? So I wonder where it wants me to go. Maybe talk to Rosso at the police station. Let's just wait and see. Come on, let's see some. There's a sparkle, so it is a police station we're going to.
Excuse me.
Ah, Monsieur Stobbart, n'est-ce pas?
That's correct. You remember me.
The retention of such data is part of my duty as a gendarme. That is how crime is fought, through attention to detail, not intuition.
Yes, sure. Have you heard of a man called Marquet?
Yes. He used to be known as the Mole of Montmartre. I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of his rivals.
Which hospital was Marquet taken to?
The Hagenmeyer Clinic, in the Avenue des Hérissons.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole of Montmartre?
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
That would be it.
But why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he ruined people's lawns.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur? Where is the victim?
I'm the victim. I've been harassed by a pair of thugs.
I see. And where did this alleged assault take place?
Outside the Hotel Ubu. They stopped me as I was leaving and went through my pockets.
The
Can you
bastards.
describe the suspects, monsieur?
One looked like a gorilla, and the other looked like a weasel. Their names are Flap and Guido.
Bon. I'll get them this time.
What are you going to do about Flap and Guido, Sergeant?
I'm going to bust them, monsieur. For years I have been hoping to pin something on that pair. Now's my chance.
I showed
I'll
him.
show them. And the inspector.
Thanks, Sergeant. Thanks for taking me seriously.
I'm only doing my duty, monsieur.
Do you know a man named Khan? He's a shifty-looking guy with a scar on his left cheek.
No, monsieur. Has this man any connection with the bombing of the cafe?
Yes. I believe Khan was the name he used when he hired the clown costume. Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
Sure.
Yes, I do.
One moment, monsieur. Stobbart is here to see you, monsieur.
Did he say what it was about?
No, monsieur.
Very well.
Here he comes.
Hi, Inspector. Remember me?
But of course, Mr. Stobbart. My mind is a well-ordered faculty. A mental classification system that's the envy of the Bibliothèque Nationale. No tricks, mark you, monsieur. Just exercise. Just as our muscles waste through inactivity, so our minds decay. But there is no need. If only people would learn to exercise their wits daily.
He
Daily.
was trying to impress me. It worked. He was pompous and patronizing, but he had style.
Eh bien, if you called about the bombing, you're too late. Investigations have been closed.
But
I've been taken off the case.
what about the murderer, the dead guy?
It is out of my hands.
That's weird.
Ever heard of a guy called Marquet? Jacques Marquet?
Marquet, I know the name well. He has a record for suspected blackmail, kidnapping, arson, and art theft.
An all-rounder, huh? How come he's on the loose?
His bravado is matched only by the courtroom skills of his attorney.
Have you heard of the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. But of course, monsieur, their fame is widespread throughout France. We haven't forgotten them. Unlike the rest of Europe,
It was the King of France who persecuted them, though.
Indeed.
That shook his cool. Underneath his cultured facade, the man was real twitchy.
What does it mean?
You're obviously a great admirer of the Knights Templar.
They were men of great honor, monsieur. The flower of chivalry.
Not everyone would share your views, Inspector.
Not everyone shares my passion for Bartok.
But if the Templars were as honorable as...
That's enough. I do not wish to hear your uninformed opinions, Stobbart.
Oh, get annoyed.
Why'd you get so wound up about the Knights Templar? They've been dead for centuries. I shouldn't have pushed my luck. Maybe his ancestors were Templars. Whatever. I saw the anger flare in his eyes like a distant summer thunderstorm.
The Templars were the first true internationalists. 800 years on, and still the world is fragmented by nationalistic flag-waving fools. You will excuse me.
Oh, he's gone. I've lost my chance to ask him any more questions. Let's see if we can ask him some more.
Excuse me?
What do you want now?
Talk about
I
Pegram?
know the identity of the
Or
dead man.
Plantard? Sorry.
His name was Plantow.
Is that so? You knew him, did you?
No, but
We'll know everything there is to know about him soon enough.
I'm trying to be helpful here.
The best way you can help us is to go home, monsieur.
Should maybe try it one more time?
Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
Will you speak to me? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
One moment, monsieur.
I want to see if I can
It's
finish the lines of
Stobbart, monsieur.
questioning.
He insists on talking to you again.
Thank you, Moo.
Well, he's coming out anyway. That's good news. Thought he would have been in there huffing.
What now, monsieur?
Have you heard of Professor Pegram, the archaeologist?
Molly Pegram, the second son of Lord Barclay Pegram.
I don't know. I only read about him in a magazine.
So much for the efficacy of rehabilitation. What has he done this time?
He made an important archaeological find in Ireland.
That was it.
Do you know Pegram well?
I have connections with the family, but I wouldn't say I knew him at all.
Is his name really Molly?
Of course not. That was the nickname he was given at school. All his friends and acquaintances know him as Molly.
Molly! It's Khan.
Don't you want to know what I found out about the killer?
I told you, monsieur, the case is closed. I have washed my hands of the whole affair.
Then I'll have to continue my investigations without your help.
No, you must forget the business of the Crown completely. Go back to being an ordinary tourist, Stobbart.
Do you know a pair of thugs called Flap and Guido?
I have known those two since they graduated from special school. Flap is a nasty piece of work, but Guido is the real brains of the partnership.
No shit.
Where did you hear of them?
I met them out front of the Hotel Ubu. Did you find out the ID of the guy who was killed in the explosion?
I already knew who he was.
What?
I heard that the bomb victim's name was Plantow.
Your sources are reliable.
He was a big shot at the Treasury, wasn't he? Maybe that's why you've been taken off the case.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I cannot comment.
This hocus pocus stuff.
What was that psycho detective business you did in the cafe?
It is my theory that the passions evoked in violent crimes create ripples in the ether, invisible to all but the possessor of a highly developed and receptive mind.
I'm impressed. Can you bend spoons, too?
Yeah.
I didn't think a man of your obvious intelligence would stoop to mockery.
I'm not mocking. I've had personal experience of the power of the mind. I used to get ignored at parties until I read a book that changed my life.
Really? What was it called?
Hypnotism for Fun and Profit. He looked at me as if I'd farted at a funeral.
The power of mesmerism is a rare gift, not a party trick.
Oh, Jesus.
You're not going to try any of that psychic interrogation on me, are you?
Do you find the thought of my probing distasteful?
Yeah.
Let's just say I'd rather you didn't. I've got more doubts than doubting Thomas when it comes to mysticism.
Too bad. I think you would make an interesting subject under controlled regression.
The day I let anyone mess with my mind hasn't dawned yet. So long, Inspector.
Alright, well, that's me here done. No, still can't double click it. Wait, where is it gonna want us to go now? The hospital, maybe? Just waiting to see what's gonna flash. I'm gonna mount for on. Or we could go to the hospital. Doesn't really matter, does it? Wants us to go to the hospital, look. You want us to go to the hospital? That's what it wants.
The old building managed to retain some of its original grandeur, but the modern additions look like a baseball cap on a statue of a medieval saint.
Let's take a
There
look
was
at the
no
ambulance.
sign of the crew of the ambulance. I felt a little guilty as I tried the door, like I was about to rob a grave. I gripped the handle with an involuntary tremble in my hand and pulled. The door was locked.
Locked. Alright, here we're inside. Shall we talk to the receptionist?
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Is this the Hagenmeyer Clinic?
That's correct.
I thought I was in a garden center.
Oh, the plants. They were my idea. A little greenery to evoke the spirit of nature. How may I help you?
Well,
Has Marquet been visited by a man in a clown costume?
Oh, no.
You haven't seen a man in disguise?
Well, there's Theodore the bear. He comes every Thursday to entertain the children.
children?
Personally, I think he scares them half to death in that crummy old bear suit. If I was stuck on my back with tubes in every orifice, he's the last person I'd want to see.
Has Marquet had a visit from a pair of gangsters?
I should hope not. Can you describe them?
A thin guy who looks like a weasel and his friend, the gorilla.
Sounds as if they escaped from the zoo.
Well, it did.
I'm here to see Jacques Marquet.
Oh, yes. Are you related to our client, sir?
Yes?
Yeah, I'm his, long-lost brother.
A brother half his age with a different name and an American accent.
Yeah, people always say that. I blame Mom. We were separated at an early age, after a mix-up in the nursery at the Oakland shopping mall.
I've never heard anything so ridiculous in all my life.
I
sorry.
guess not. So, do I get to see Marquet before the funeral?
That attitude will get you nowhere. My instructions were quite clear. No one gets to see Marquet. So unless you can prove you're a relative or a close acquaintance, you're wasting your time here.
Alright, let's ask her some other
What
questions.
does this tool suggest to you?
Is it a crack detector?
Huh?
Polar explorers use them to poke about in the snow.
No. What does this false nose remind you of?
Oh,
It's a clown's
it's
nose.
a clown's nose.
That's right.
Why don't you give me a break and go and play with someone else?
Can you think of any use for this greasy tissue?
I guess you could use it to baste a roast turkey.
Have you seen this man here at the clinic?
No, sir. And I never forget a face.
I'd like to shake you by the hand.
Don't be fresh, young man.
Have you heard of the Club Alamet?
No. It sounds romantic, doesn't it? The kind of place where you get little umbrellas and, well,
Huh? That's romantic? Look at this ID pass.
so you're Merlin. Marquet's been asking for you.
There
For
we
me?
go.
Yes. He was shouting your name when they brought him in here. Now, let me see. He was on Ward B12, as I recall. Oh, he's being transferred to... Oh, dear. He's on Ward J2. That's... Nurse Grendel's ward.
Who's she when she's at home?
What's so bad about Nurse Grendel?
She runs that ward like a South American prison.
Keeping a well-disciplined ward isn't a crime, is it?
Well disciplined. In the discipline and punishment stakes, she'd whip the butt off the Marquis de Sade. Everything, I mean everything, is done to a strict routine. 6 o'clock, alarm falls. 6:10, bowel movement, and woe betide anyone who doesn't have a result. Those patients of hers are like Pavlova's dogs.
She sounds like a real nightmare.
And then some.
If Nurse Grendel is that bad, how come the authorities tolerate her?
She's like part of the furniture.
Oh, you mean she's been here a long time?
No, I mean there's not a man in this clinic who hasn't sprawled out on her.
Oh,
I was beginning to get the picture. This woman was jealous, with a big green capital J. How do I find Nurse Grendel's ward?
Down the corridor on the left, turn right at the senior consultant's washroom. Right again at the executive coffee lounge. Bear left past the administrator's sauna. And turn left at the end. That's J2. And good luck.
thank you.
Look at this ID pass.
Yes, dear, you showed me already.
Sure
What
does.
does this gem suggest to you?
I advise you not to flash that around. The hospital insurance wouldn't cover it if it was stolen.
Is this plaster any use to you?
I'm allergic to plaster.
Thanks for your help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
The guy seemed to be practicing his air of authority. Today, he was working on his withering stare.
Stop this joker.
Hi, my name's George Stobbart. Really? If you wish to make an appointment,
See the receptionist?
receptionist.
I don't know how you talk to him about too much.
Does this white powder mean anything to you?
No, sir. I do not pretend to know the pharmacist's job.
With this
Look at
diamond.
this, Doc. It's a genuine
Oh,
medieval
gemstone.
type gemstone.
Yes, so I see. Remarkable.
Look at this, Doc. It's a genuine medieval type gemstone.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, just gonna repeat that.
Does the name Thomas Merlin mean anything to you?
No, it does not.
Have you ever heard of the Club Alamut?
No, sir, I have not.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, sir,
I do not.
What do you make of this tissue, sir?
Intéressant. I thought I knew the ins and outs of the human body, but this has me beat. If I were you, I'd have this sample analyzed.
Did I show you this tissue?
Yes, you did.
Do you recognize this red nose, sir?
No, I do not. This is a hospital.
Not this
Not a
circuit
circus
ring.
We minister to the sick in body, not the sick in mind.
Does this tool mean anything to you?
Sacre bleu! That's exactly what I needed in my last operation.
It is?
I had to improvise with a knitting needle and a couple of corks. If only you'd been on hand at the time.
How was I to know?
My patient would have given his right arm for it.
Does this tool...
Yes.
May I have the honor of...
Shaking you by the hand.
You may not. I don't encourage physical contact between my staff.
Right,
Thanks for your help.
let's talk to that guy.
Hi, my name's George Stobbart.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
Call me George if you like.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's my name.
My name's Benoit, but everyone calls me Bunny.
Bunny.
Bunny?
That's right. I used to have this cute habit when I was a kid.
Keep it to yourself, Benoit. Do you know anything about a patient named Marquet?
And no, sir, I don't know much about any of the patients.
I've never met a doctor who admits that he's only human.
I'm only a trainee, sir. I'm sure I'll get the hang of things.
Do you know the nurse on Ward J2?
No, mister. This is my first day here. I can't wait to get my hands dirty. I was talking about treating my first patient, of course.
Of course.
I didn't mean I'd get my hands dirty with a nurse.
Let's ask him some stuff about this.
Do you know what this white powder is?
No, sir.
Does this gem mean anything to you?
Not me, sir.
No, sir?
Have you ever heard of a guy named Merlin?
No, sir.
Have you ever heard of the Club Alamat?
No, sir.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur. I've never seen him before.
What does this tissue mean to you?
Is that a nasal discharge, sir?
No, it's grease paint. Does this false nose mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
Does this false...
No, it
What does this tool suggest to you?
isn't that used to snap the patient's ribs when exploring the abdomen?
I
Jesus.
hope not.
Right.
See you later.
Right.
She said go down the left, didn't she? I think she did.
As I turned the corner, I saw the source of the hellish noise which echoed through the corridors. It was an industrial polishing machine with an odd-looking guy in tow.
There's the door. We need to get in that door to get ourselves a coat.
The door didn't have a sign or label or any kind of identification.
Hey now, you can't go in there.
How come?
I'm responsible for the contents of that cupboard.
Let's talk to you then, buddy. Let's look at the machine first.
It was a classic example of functionalism, like an early Soviet spacecraft. I almost expected to see a dog or a monkey leap out. I wasn't in the mood for shining floors. Hello.
What's that?
I said hello.
Oh, hiya.
I'd like to talk to you for a minute.
That's what I thought you said.
That's what I
Don't
did
look
say.
so down in the mouth. No matter how bad things seem, I never let life get on top of me.
Oh, yeah? What's your secret?
Why, it's easy. All you have to do is smile and whistle this little tune.
You know what? If you start whistling, I'll bust you in the teeth.
That's nice.
It's a deal.
Do you know a nurse called Grendel?
Sure I do.
Is she on duty today?
Yeah. End of the corridor, Ward J2.
Have you seen any unsavory characters lurking about in the corridors?
No, sir, I haven't. But I've got nothing to worry about. What's that, Mr. Shiny? You'd take good care of the rascals, I'll bet you would. With a friend like him, I've no fear of oppressors.
It must be a great comfort.
He is.
Would Mr. Shiny be your polishing machine by any chance?
I think so.
Please, don't call him that. He's more of a friend than a machine. I've had Mr. Shiny for 3 years, and he's never let me down once.
How come you got so attached to a polishing machine?
I asked you not to call him that. He's got a name, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Shiny. It's just that...
You think it's odd, don't you?
Yeah.
No, I
don't mind. The rest of the staff think I'm twisted. I heard them snorking behind me back when I gave Mr. Shiny his weekly pull through.
What did he do?
Whatever
Jesus.
you got with this metal nut foot is probably a fine and noble thing.
It is? Say, it's not every day I meet someone as crazy as me.
Do you know where I'd find a patient called Marquet?
No, I'm not allowed on the wards with Mr. Shiny.
Let's ask him some of these questions.
Would this tool be any use to you?
No, sir. Mr. Shiny has no user serviceable parts. Whatever that means.
Means you can't fix it yourself.
Take a look at this red nose.
Are you a policeman?
No, this is a clown's nose, not a policeman's. Did I show you this nose?
Yeah, you did. It's a real humdinger, I think.
What does this tissue suggest to you?
You have a cold. What you need is vitamin C and a side order of machine oil.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Who is it?
That's what I'm asking you. Have you seen him before?
How should I know? You haven't told me who he is.
Take a look at the photo.
Yeah, okay.
Now, have you seen him before?
No,
That's good.
Would you like to shake my hand?
not until I've washed, if you don't mind, sir. You can pick up all kinds of things in a hospital.
Like nurses, right?
No, sir. Bugs and germs and fungal infections.
Do you recognize this matchbook?
You should never, ever play with matches.
I know that, but
People get hurt when they do.
sure.
You end up in hospital, like the burger lady.
Burger Lily.
She was so burned up, they didn't know whether to use bandages or onions.
Jesus.
Do you recognize this pass?
No, I don't. Should I?
No, but I wondered if you'd seen a stranger flashing it about.
No, sir. But if I had, Mr. Shiny would take care of him.
Show him the
What do you
diamond
think
or
of
the
this,
gemstone.
Sam?
Oh, boy. What is it?
A priceless gemstone found in a medieval castle in Ireland. Get me into Marquet's ward, and it's yours.
I don't wear jewellery.
If this gem was yours, you'd be able to buy 100 Mr. Shinies.
100 Mr. Shinies.
Don't be silly. There's only one Mr. Shiny.
Don't you want this gem, Sam?
I'm quite happy without it, thanks.
Suit yourself.
Do you recognize this powder?
Is that dandruff?
No way.
It sure looks like dandruff.
It's plaster.
Ugh.
Do you recognize this powder?
No.
Is that...
No.
It's...
It's...
Ugh.
Alright.
See you later.
So we need to
Yeah.
get in this door. So what we're going to do is actually unplug this. That turns Mr. Shiny off. Then he's going to walk around.
As I tugged the plug out of the socket, the polishing machine coughed,
Spluttered
spluttered,
and died.
and died.
Mr. Shiny, what's wrong, pal?
And as soon as he walks this corner, I'll be able to control George. And I could open this door. Well, eventually. Let's go, Georgie boy. And got himself the coat. Alright, looks like a doctor.
Dr. Stobbart at your service.
Well, let's go this way. A few minutes later. Maybe send this one we need to go. I think this is the one. This is the one.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Oh, hi. Is this Ward J2?
Yes, sir. The patients are ready for your inspection, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse. Well, who's first?
Monsieur Croquet in bed 2.
What's his problem?
He's been complaining of loss of consciousness. You'll need this, Doctor.
She gave me a long, narrow metal box and a stunning smile. Thanks.
Let's see what's wrong with this old crooked. Crooked? That's new.
Hi, I'm Dr. Stobbart.
Hello, Doctor.
The nurse told me you keep losing consciousness.
That's right. I've had the problem as long as I can remember. It's a real out-of-body experience. Like death, but not so conclusive.
I see. How long does it last?
Just a fraction of a second, and then I recover.
It's called
I
blinking
might
mid.
not have been a doctor, but I was formulating a diagnosis all the same. This guy was nuts. I know exactly what you mean. It's known in the medical field as blinking.
Is it serious?
Of course it isn't serious. It's perfectly natural.
But just think, 2 seconds every minute? Why, that's almost half an hour every day. 2 weeks out of every year spent in total darkness.
I don't have time to listen to this baloney. Which bed is Marquet in?
He's round the corner, in solitary.
What's the matter with him?
I don't know, but the men who brought him in were wearing masks and rubber gloves. Hey, you're a doctor. How come you don't know?
We doctors don't know everything.
Then how come you act like you do?
Has Marquet had any visitors?
Nah, neither have I. That's the worst thing about being in hospital. You feel like the rest of the world has abandoned you.
Well, you know how it is. Life goes on.
Thanks for those comforting words.
Let's ask him about this stuff here.
Do you know what this piece of equipment is called?
No, I don't.
Do you know what this is?
Is it self-raising flour?
No. Does this gem mean anything to you?
No, Doctor.
With this
Have you heard
card.
of a guy called Merlin?
No, Doctor.
Have you ever heard of the Club Alamut?
Nah, I haven't.
I thought about giving him an electric shock,
Probably not the best idea.
but I just couldn't do that to a sick guy. Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Nah, Doctor. Who is it?
A cold-blooded killer.
One of your colleagues?
No, he really is a murderer.
I've never seen him before.
Have you any idea what this is?
Please, take it away before I throw up.
Do you recognize this red nose?
Nah, I don't.
Do you know what this tool is used for?
Eye surgery.
That's a dumb thing to say. It's not sharp enough. Well, goodbye and good luck.
Thanks, Doc.
Let's take a look at the medical chart.
The name on the chart was Sopmarsh.
Can I go over here? He's gonna stop me. Oh, doctor.
Doctor,
There we go.
What is it?
you haven't taken my blood pressure.
Let's get this old guy's blood pressure.
Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
Of course I am.
No, you're not. Dr. Monroe never did it like that.
I can't take a satisfactory reading while you're excited like this. I'll come back later. Hello? Anybody home?
Who are you?
Who are you?
My name is Dr. Stobbart, and I'm here to steer you down the rocky road to recovery.
Dr. Monroe said there was no cure for what I've got.
Your problem is you stayed in bed too long.
Are you sure you're a qualified doctor?
No.
You better believe it. What can you tell me about Marquet?
He's the man in the private room, isn't he? That room was mine before I was tossed out like a common squatter.
Do you know what's wrong with Marquet?
Who knows?
They won't even say what's wrong with me. Tell me, Doctor, what's your opinion?
It's too early to say.
But I've been here for 3 months.
Let's talk about the
What's your
nurse.
impression of Nurse Grendel?
She's a very efficient young woman.
Efficient? You make her sound like a vacuum cleaner.
I've no complaints.
The woman in reception described Nurse Grendel as a monster.
Well, that's simply not true. She's quite strict, but that's her job, isn't it? You've got to have discipline in a place like this.
It's true.
I'm going to take your blood pressure.
Why?
I'm a doctor. It's my job.
Wait, you didn't actually do it?
Do you know what this is?
It looks like plaster.
How did you know that?
I'm a plasterer.
Does this gem mean anything to you?
No, Doctor. Is this some kind of test?
If it was, you would have failed. Have you heard of a guy called Merlin?
No, Doctor.
Yes,
Have
doctor.
you ever
No,
heard
doctor.
of the Club Alamut?
I'm not really a nightclub man, Doctor. A game of whist and a glass of ginger wine is about my limit.
I thought about giving him an electric shock,
It'd be funny.
but I just couldn't do that to a sick guy. Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, Doctor. Who is it?
A cold-blooded killer.
Really? He's a dead ringer for my bank manager. Of course, Mr. Soames hasn't got a scar, and he doesn't come from the Middle East. His hair's a lot grayer, too.
Looks nothing like him. then.
Otherwise, it's just like him.
Remarkable. Have you any idea what this is?
No, Doctor. I wouldn't even like to guess.
Do you recognize this red nose?
Doesn't that belong to Boissy?
No. I found it in a sewer.
He's a clown, you know. You wouldn't think so to look at him now, would you?
Right, final thing.
Do you know what this tool is used for?
I'd rather not, Doctor. Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
They do say that.
See you later.
Right, let's walk down here. We talk to this nurse again.
Pardon me, nurse.
Oui, monsieur?
Do you have any clowns on the ward?
Why, yes, we do. A professional clown.
I'll bet he lightens the place up.
Hardly. Monsieur Boissy has been in a coma for the last 3 months.
What's wrong with Boissy?
He was involved in a very nasty accident.
Oh no.
A silly stunt involving a unicycle. His current condition is due to post-traumatic shock. It's unlikely he'll ever perform as a clown again.
It's an ill wind that blows nobody any good. Do you have a patient named Marquet on this ward?
Oui, monsieur. He is in the private room at the end of the ward. He has been placed in strict isolation.
Why is Marquet in quarantine?
If you wish to know more, you'll have to speak to Herr Hagenmeyer. All I know is that Marquet's room is strictly out of bounds.
Do you know who paid for Marquet's room?
No, of course I don't.
Preferential treatment like that must cost an arm and a leg.
That's not my concern, monsieur.
Does this tool mean anything to you?
No, monsieur.
I don't recognize it.
Do you recognize this red nose?
Oh dear. I don't think he'll be needing that again.
Who?
Monsieur Boissy, the comatose clown.
Do you recognize this tissue?
No, I don't. It looks like a chronic health risk to me.
Well, I've been carrying it around for days and I'm okay. My pocket's getting a little soggy.
Yeah.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, I don't.
Would you like to shake hands with me?
Well,
No, it's okay. Forget it.
Hmm.
I didn't really want to use it on her anyway.
Yeah, be cruel.
Does this mean anything to you?
the Club Alamut? I've never heard of it.
Do you know Merlin of Gruber Electronics?
No, I don't.
Does this gem mean anything to you?
It's beautiful, but I've never seen it
I've never
before.
seen it before.
Is this plaster any use to you?
No, it isn't.
What is this device?
Blood pressure
It's for taking
machine.
the patient's blood pressure, doctor.
Do you want this,
Device for measuring blood pressure?
yeah, do you want it back?
No, thank you.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Right, so what we'll have to do next is go to the front lobby and get that young doctor to follow us back here. He can do the blood pressure. But for now, I'm going to save the game. Go to the main menu. And that will be this video, so thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Please leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of more videos such as this one, because obviously there's going to be a lot more parts of this one, and there's usually videos every day. I'd like to upload a video every day if I can. So yeah, subscribe to the channel to be notified of that. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.